How can you protect your assets from this silent thief? In this short video, we'll discuss inflation, why it's likely to increase, what that means for you, and how you can protect your savings. If you're not interested in why prices are going up, even including your guacamole at Chipotle, this video is not for you. But if you want to understand inflation, and if you want to beat inflation, here's what you need to know. At Sovereign Man, we warned our subscribers in 2020 that inflation was coming. Turns out, we were right. Inflation was a shock to many, even some fund managers, but not to us, and not to our subscribers, who had plenty of time to prepare for the inflation of 2021. When we say inflation, here's what we mean. Inflation is simply too much money relative to the amount of goods and services in an economy. And rising prices, what people see, are the symptom of inflation. Over the past year plus, two major things have happened. First, the US expanded the money supply the most since 1943. Yes, back when World War II was raging. And second, lockdowns limited the amount of goods and services available. The formula is simple. Too much money chasing too few goods and services equals higher prices. And we don't expect that prices will fall anytime soon. Supply chains are breaking. Shortages are appearing. The government is still paying people not to work, which is limiting production. And the money printing continues. Not too many people understand that inflation is a tax. It's a stealth tax on your savings. When you spend less than you earn and save the difference, you expect the savings to be there in the future. But inflation robs your future purchasing power. And as a result, groceries cost more, gas costs more, movie tickets cost more, everything costs more. For nearly 40 years, we've largely experienced deflation. Consumers and savers are used to steady or falling prices. So higher inflation will probably shock most people. But once they eventually catch on, there could be chaos. Savers will realize their money is losing value, so they could quickly turn into spenders. Higher consumer prices will cause people to buy now rather than wait for later. And investors, well, they may finally understand that they're not prepared for inflation either. But you can be prepared. You can protect your savings. One of the best ways is to consider this proven 5,000-year-old asset class, precious metals, physical gold and silver. Members of Sovereign Man Confidential, our flagship service, receive timely and in-depth research reports on inflation. And we also cover solutions, like how to survive and thrive during inflation with precious metals. We think of physical gold and silver not as an investment, but as real money. In inflationary times, gold and silver will preserve your savings. Plus, when you hold physical precious metals, there's no counterparty risk. That means you're not dependent on any individual or any institution. Central banks can print all they want, but you'll be okay because you're holding physical precious metals. The demand for physical precious metals picked up in 2020 and 2021. That means the premium, the price you'll pay over the spot or market price, also increased. Back in early 2020, premiums shot up to 25% or even 50% above the spot or market price. But had you been a member of Sovereign Man Confidential at the time, we shared a way to buy physical silver for only a 0.06% premium. That's right, a 0.06% premium. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better deal, but we don't stop there. SMC members also receive a special discount at a prominent offshore precious metals storage facility. Opportunities like these are what we constantly search for and share with our Sovereign Man Confidential members. Just take SMC member Brad, for example, who took action on our silver report. In early 2020, while premiums on silver were skyrocketing, Brad bought a large quantity of silver for a bargain basement price. And now, as inflation has arrived in 2021, he's holding a great inflation hedge. You can either trust that everything will be fine, that inflation is transitory, as the Federal Reserve often says, or you can take charge. Allocate a portion of your savings into precious metals, your insurance policy against inflation. By joining Sovereign Man Confidential, you'll always have a plan to end around inflation and thrive during tough times. Click the link below to learn more.